Well, I suppose initially started with my kind of pretty basic interest in painting, and I always wanted to be a painter, but then I loved video and performance. So this was a really good stepping stone where I finally merged all the work together. So it's kind of one of the first works where I feel like I've created like essentially a video painting as such. So it's more multiple episodes brought together, and then the topics or subjects was predominantly based around 2016 when the main video piece was made. So the gorilla being shot, a lot of immigration and housing crisis, the media as well, how they're portraying it. So the services are creating a texture through newspaper and where possible relevant stories to the characters. And then I suppose at the core of all of these is myself. So it's kind of slightly like the Man Show, the Terence Show, I suppose. I was trying to connect myself to these stories that were going on around the world. Not to be too narcissistic, but it was more about me trying to actually connect to these things, like the immigration, the war in Syria, all these events that are obviously happening, but I'm here in safe Ireland, and they're a bit unreal and obviously being dictated through the media how they're being presented. I always had a source of cardboard through actually my brother. He's a cabinet maker, and I normally get like 6 feet by 4 feet sheets that are really useful. But I like as well the idea of it having a history. It has a story, the same with the newspapers. And I've started, the plan is to reuse the props, the costumes, and keep adding to them. So for example, the gorilla, the basis of that formed the second piece based on Saturn. So I feel like as well, it's like a painting that there's another visual, but also philosophical or conceptual layer to it, that it has another story in it. But as well with cardboard, it is obviously kind of potentially a childlike material, and I know I'm obviously not the first artist to work with it as a core material, but it's one of those things you have to obviously as well develop your skill and how you use it to make it look rough but make it well. I suppose the second piece was a real trial, experimentation, which is the idea of MART. I wanted to not fall into the kind of trap of, oh my God, there's an exhibition, it's really important, of not just trying something out. And so I always thought it would be really interesting and a good possibility maybe to do a live version of the painting. So that was the first idea of it. And then I was also obviously considering how the viewer is going to interpret or engage with that. So are they going to see it as a performance? Because that's always an interesting aspect to me. Why do something live if you could make maybe a live video? So there needs to be some reason behind it. So as well as having kind of this, I suppose, this selfie stick and the camera in the created image, I thought I'd try and do the Facebook Live as a way to create, I suppose, a framed image or visual. I think I just wanted to make it, do it, and maybe personally destroy my walls of just not getting hung up on just, I want to be true to myself, that I keep experimenting, keep trying. Obviously, you need to consider the viewer in mind, but you still need to make work to see what happens and see what you can get out of it and learn from it and keep moving on from it. So I suppose maybe it is more on a personal line, and I think where possible take a risk. I didn't know how it would go me sitting there for over 2 hours doing something slow, so it was kind of a personal experience as well. A lot of people were staring at me and I was kind of staring into their soul, and they weren't aware of it, I don't think, or maybe it was. So it was kind of an interesting outcome for myself as well.